Hey, welcome into the Monday Mirror edition of Main Street Sports Today here on Main Street Media TV. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Wade Neely, and we are coming in hot live from the Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball Media Day here at Municipal Auditorium, and we are joined by Director of Basketball, Megan
Perry.
Yeah. Perry. I'm sorry. Megan
No
Perry.
worries. I'm actually our Vice
short.
President of Basketball for Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball.
Well,
so
welcome in. We're glad to have you.
We absolutely are glad to have you as we get things started off here on a Monday afternoon. Again, we are here for AU Unlimited Pro Basketball Media Day. They start their season Wednesday night here at Municipal Auditorium. Professional women's basketball here in Nashville. Really excited about it and really excited to have Megan Perry on with us. Just take us through this. One, how did you guys wind up in Nashville? You were in Vegas last year, is that right?
Sure. Let me kind of give you a quick overview of it. So Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball, we're going into our fourth season. And our first season was actually played in Las Vegas.
First season.
And then the past two seasons were played in Dallas.
Okay.
And we are bringing AU Pro Basketball, we call it AU for short, but AU Pro Basketball here to Nashville for season 4. We're really excited about the move to Nashville.
Now, AU is, you have to say AU basketball because there's also AU softball. There's AU volleyball.
Yes.
And what else?
Yes. So we have, I'll share as the Athletes Unlimited itself. We are the largest network of professional women's sports leagues here domestically within the United States. So we have the largest footprint of professional female athletes. So we operate basketball, softball, and volleyball. But I oversee basketball for AU Pro Basketball, and I'm really excited to be able to talk about our decision to bring professional women's basketball to Tennessee. Because we really do feel that Tennessee, obviously, it's a hotbed for women's basketball, and it has been for a long time. The talent that we know has come out of Tennessee, the rich history of the collegiate programs across the state, and quite frankly, I think Tennessee has been without professional women's basketball for too long, and so we wanted to take this opportunity to bring, elite professional women's basketball back to a city that has shown for a long time that they are eager and hungry to show up for it.
The sales pitch sounds pretty simple with what you just laid out for Tennessee and I guess Nashville, even more hyper. I know it wasn't that simple, though, right? Kind of how did the process come about? And we love the setup here at Municipal Auditorium. When you walk in, this is a historic building, and you guys are adding a new chapter to that history, which I think is really special.
Well, we love that you love the setup. I'll say one thing when we think about basketball, and I think about Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball, and just the makeup of our community, it's diverse. It's eclectic. In Nashville, Music City specifically meets us with that, meets us where we are. It is a blend of sports, music, and culture, like all in one place. And we think Nashville Municipal Auditorium very well represents that for us. And to your point about the process, was it a long process? We started this process over a year ago, and we had numerous site visits. We've been working with members, the city of Nashville, the administration, and they've been nothing but kind and warm and welcoming to us and showing us the wonderful player experience that our players will have while they're on the ground. There's so much that Nashville offers. But I'll also say we took a look at how women's basketball fans have shown up in Nashville. From the Final Four, I believe it was back in 2014. I was a long time ago working for the WNBA front office and was a part of coming here to scout some college talent back in the day. But I remember well just the warmth of the community, and we were searching for a home. And I think that Nashville has shown us that not only do they want to be great partners, but the city of Nashville has been a great host for us to find a home here.
Megan Perry, Director of Basketball for Athletes Unlimited, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Again, play starts Wednesday, and what's unique about AU is it's really player-driven right down to the teams change each week, and that's really a fascinating situation to me. Players draft, it's player-driven all the way around. Players draft the teams. Players basically coach the teams. They have a facilitator for each team.
Let me tell you all about the model. I'm happy to share because I think it is really unique. So overall at Athletes Unlimited, we believe that players are savvy business leaders, and that overall there should be more opportunities to collaborate with players because they're the ones doing it. They have some bright ideas, and we should incorporate that into our decision making. So our model is a little bit upside down from the traditional model, where you have owners and GMs and coaches making decisions and telling players what to do. We don't believe that's the way to do business. We actually believe we collaborate with the players along the way. And so we are player-led and driven down to our format. So like you mentioned before, for the way we actually play our game, it's 5-on-5 basketball, but we split 40 players across 4 teams. The top 4 finishers on the AU leaderboard, which is a board that we use to pretty much calculate bonus points throughout the game for teams and individuals, but the individuals are ranked on the leaderboard. The top 4 finishers on our leaderboard each week are named as captains of the team. The captains select their team in our weekly draft, Mondays at 11 a.m. Central Time. So we just finished one up a couple hours ago. We draft our teams for the week, and our captains are in charge of the decision making for their team. So they're working with our facilitators, that's AU language for coaches.
Okay.
So they are effectively coaches, but it's different than a traditional coach because they are supporting the decisions of our captains. So our captains are formulating practice strategy. They're making substitution decisions in games. They're the ones calling the timeouts. They are game managing and playing. And so it's a really cool way for them to see the game in a different perspective, learn and grow through that, and be supported by professionals who are first class, right, top of the industry, to be able to lean on and consult in that process.
We've got a little bit of the leaderboard. I don't know how much folks can see it. I am curious. Is that going to be updated on the fly in real time as well during the games? So if you're a player fan, if you're an ALYSHA Clark fan, you can say, okay, I know exactly where she sits. You may not even be concerned about the result of the game per se, so much as you want to watch ALYSHA do her thing.
Well, what's really cool is within AU, every moment matters. And so let's talk about the leaderboard specifically. So the players, all 40 players are ranked on that leaderboard. While they're playing the game, they have the opportunity to earn what we call individual stat points. So you get positive points for positive plays, 3 points, 2 points, assists, whatever that is, right? There's negative points for negative plays, for turnovers and things that impact the game negatively. But you also get team points or bonuses, right? Those team point bonus points, those are for things like team wins, if your team wins the game, but also if your team wins the quarter. So the score could right now be like a 100. Let's say the score is 100 to 80. Normally fans are tuned out and the players are tuned out at that point, but not at AU. You're playing to win the quarter. And why does that matter? Because they're playing all those bonus points that go on the leaderboard are tied to compensation. Because at the end of our season, our players are playing for a pool of $1 million prize, right? And so they are incentivized to be able to compete at a high level with their team, but as well as an individual. So it's really cool. It's 5-on-5, and on top of that, if you're interested in following the bonuses and the leaderboard, it's a really cool way to engage fans.
How did you all determine the captains for this week?
Yeah, so the captains to start, so we made a little bit of a change in the offseason. So the captains for week 1 are pulled from a pool of returning players, and it's randomized. So we had a random pool, we pick the numbers out, and the numbers that are assigned to those names are captains for this week.
So it's random, but one of your 4 captains is former Hillsborough High School standout, former Tennessee Lady Vol, ISABELLE Harrison. So
how about that?
Listen,
hey, go figure. Huh?
Yeah, no, listen, she's been around. She's been a part of the AU family for a while and kind of knows the ropes. But when we think about putting a really great product on the floor, it's important that when we, our pool of returners, that it's important that we pull from people that have the experience here on the floor within the AU system and can kind of help show the way. But what's different about last year than this year with AU, every single week, it's kind of like every single week matters a little bit more because the way that the captains are chosen and selected for the next week is based on their performance for the week prior. Right? So that makes sense. You have to show up every single week, and we anticipate that there could be more variation at the top of the leaderboard. So it could change. It depends on how players perform that week.
I love the format. I love the model. And I want to ask you, how can fans, what's the easiest way to get involved? We know Wednesday is going to be opening night. It's going to be epic. So what is the simplest or easiest way for folks to come down and support you guys?
Yeah, we love that. Well, first of all, we know there's a lot of eyes on Nashville. We know there's a lot of eyes on women's basketball. So come down, put your butt in the seat, Nashville Municipal Auditorium. You're going to have a great up-close experience, a really intimate basketball experience. You can find all information, auprobasketball.com. You can purchase your tickets there. You can get in here. You can follow our leaderboard, follow our players at AU Pro Basketball as well on all of our social handles. It's the best way for people to figure out how to get it in the building and how to be able to see these players up close.
You've got ball games scheduled Wednesday night at 5 and 7:30. Team Harrison plays Team Colson in the nightcap on Wednesday. 5 and 7:30 on Friday. It's Team Kirsten Bell and Team Izzy in the nightcap on Friday, and then on Saturday, February 8th, it's 5 and 7:30 as well. So it's
consistent times. We want you all to know when and where to show up, and getting your seat early. And the best thing about it, our back-to-back format, you will get to see everyone play that evening, right? You show up on one day, you get to see everyone play. And so we do try to maximize weekends. We know we want people to show up on Wednesday, but you have another opportunity Friday and Saturday as well to see any action that you missed earlier in the week.
As Megan said, she'd love for you to get your butts down here in the seats, but Wednesday's games are available on ESPN Plus. Friday's games can be seen on the WNBA app and on FanDuel Sports, and Saturday's games will be aired on ESPN Plus.
That's
so
right. Thanks for that.
Oh, absolutely. We want folks to be able to consume this, even if they can't necessarily get down here. And so, absolutely.
Yeah, we have a great broadcast experience. I also want to shout out our broadcast team. Cheryl Swoops, the legendary Cheryl Swoop, is a part of our broadcast team, member of our family, and she'll be doing color commentary. Another name you might know includes Ari Chambers on the sideline, a very prominent women's sports voice. So we bring in some of the very best to be able to cover the game and tell these the stories of our athletes and what's happening on our sidelines.
I got to ask you, Megan, as we kind of sit here a couple days before launching the Nashville experience, anything that you guys for sure have tweaked or changed, or maybe we shouldn't have done this last year? Well, any tinkering, I guess, what have you done, or what are you excited about this to make it kind of unique to Nashville?
Sure. I will say, overall, coming into Nashville is the biggest change, right? Like this location, this venue is the biggest thing. In the off season, we spend a lot of time really focused on our player experience. In my conversations with our player executive committee, who I collaborate with, right, for everything, they were really focused on making sure that how we went about choosing our captains, that we had more variation at the top. In the past, the captains had been selected from a cumulative leaderboard score. This year, it's week to week. That's the biggest change. I think our players are really excited about that. Other things that I would say some of our executive staff is really excited about as well is this venue, an amazing venue, an historic venue located in like the downtown area of Nashville. I'm still learning some geography being new here, but that's exciting for us. And I'll say our overall experience, how we continue to amplify and grow our support staff around. Our players mentioned, you'll see right behind us, our player development coaches that are doing group and individual training sessions to be able to get one-on-one action outside of your practice times and your game times is really important to our player core as they're preparing themselves.
Being here in Nashville is cool, but just offering these ladies the opportunity outside of the WNBA to play professionally for money in the United States has got to be a great accomplishment and a great mission for you all, I would think. Yeah,
it absolutely is. I mean, this is something that I think the women's basketball community has been screaming about for years, and it's finally manifested itself. And so, the opportunity, the platform that AU Pro Basketball presents is a significant one. So, the roster spots are in high demand, and we are just really excited to be able to share what this is and have the community come out and support and be able to see athletes that you've known from the college days, and maybe you didn't get visibility into them because you were not in a city with perhaps a WNBA team or didn't know how to find them online when they go overseas. Like, it's so important that if you build it, they will come, right? And we are building something here, and we know the fans are going to come out and support.
One final question I had is, obviously, we're hoping for community support, but while we have these great athletes here and great staff, are you guys also kind of getting outside and getting in the community as well? Because that's such a cool symbiotic process of this.
Yeah, I will say, Athletes Unlimited, part of the core values, the foundation of this company, when it was founded, was to use sports to make positive impact in the community. That's a huge part of our DNA. One of the things that AU Pro athletes are really excited about is the opportunity to play for a cause. Let's start there. So each of our athletes identify as a cause that's important to them. We amplify that cause throughout the season, and at the end of the season, we make a donation on behalf of that player to that cause in the amount that's equal to their win bonuses. So we're passionate about making impact. Then here within the Nashville community, we are thrilled. We just actually had a wonderful basketball clinic at Hillsborough High School, which is the former high school of Isabel Harrison, where she was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, and Dory Harrison. Had a wonderful group in the community that came out to support that. February 9th, I believe, we will be having a community day of giving where we've identified a number of different organizations throughout the city of Nashville, and our players and our staff will be showing up to support those organizations. And so we're doing the best we can to get out. And I will say, coming here, what you will see that's unique and different is how during our games, our in-game entertainment, how we embrace the community, number of different community groups performing on the sidelines and really trying to tap into the heart of Music City and make sure that everyone is represented is something that we've prioritized.
Megan Perry, Director of Basketball for Athletes Unlimited, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Megan, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for getting us started here on this Monday afternoon, and look forward to seeing you here over the next month and some change.
Same. You guys come back, you hear?
Absolutely. Well,
that's our line.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan.
All right, thank you for having me.
Hey, let's take a break here on Main Street Sports today. When we come back, well, I don't know. Come back and see. We'll talk to you. Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new, handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Welcome back into the Monday Mirror here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Wade Neely. We're coming to you live from Municipal Auditorium here in Nashville, site of the Athletes Unlimited Basketball Media Day. Again, as they get ready to kick off their month-long season on Wednesday night. And we have with us one of the captains of one of the four teams participating, Isabelle Harrison. You can find her at OMG, it's Izzy B on Twitter or X. But Isabel played her high school ball at Hillsborough, where she was just enshrined in their Hall of Fame over the weekend. Played collegiately at the University of Tennessee.
Yep.
But if y'all are watching us, you know that. What you don't know is, again, Izzy was one of the 4 captains this week. And so what was the pressure with regards to Dory and drafting her? I see she's on your team, and
Yes.
I guess she. Yeah, I mean, what would that have been like had someone else drafted her before you, or was there some type of arrangement in place, or how did that go?
No plan or schedule with that. We and Dory were just together for scrimmage week, so we have an idea of what it is to play with one another. I think me and my facilitator were just trying to see how we could switch things up for week 1, and then by the time my pick came back around, Dory was still on the board. So everybody in the breakout room and our facilitator, Shelly, was like, let's go grab Dory. So I'm glad that, again, we play on another team together.
Have you all had much opportunity to play together?
I would say last season was our first chance to play with one another. And last season we played against each other a lot. So it's funny that these first 2 weeks we've been together. That's never happened before here.
A little bit of a role reversal.
Yeah, just a little bit. But Dory's been a joy to have on my team and other teams too. And obviously we're sisters, but I do try to get her a chance to play with other players because that's the point of AU. So hopefully going forward, we'll continue to mix it up.
I got to ask immediately, your draft strategy, is it fantasy football style where you have like a million spreadsheets, or you do kind of have a cheat sheet or just a short list?
Yeah.
Walk us through that if you would.
We just have like a list of players and they're grouped off by like their position. So me as a 4, I can play 5. I always try to go for a point guard first. What really I didn't know going into today, our drafting positions were flip-flopped around. So gold is usually supposed to be first. I don't know if they're doing that for this year, but now purple's first. So
A little
switcheroo, but you want to be gold number 1 at the end of obviously the season. So I think there's a benefit by, obviously, if you're the first captain, you get to have first pick and like really draft the team that you really want, but yeah, they flip-flopped it, and that's AU. We get to change things up and make it more interesting every year.
Who was your first pick?
My first pick was, who did I have for my first pick?
Point guard?
Are they listed? Oh,
it was a point guard. They listed it. Okay. Let me pull it out for you. My first pick was Maddie Segrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they may be listed here in order of draft selection then, because you've got Maddie Segrist, you've got Taylor Mikesell, Lexi Brown, Jamarice Davis, Taj Cole, Sequoia Holmes, Dory, Rebecca Harris, and Charisma Osborne is your team.
Yep.
So, what's it like being back at home doing this?
I've done AU since the first year, and the first year we were in Vegas, and that was really exciting for like the inaugural year. A lot of excitement. Then we went to Dallas for the past 2 years, and I live in Dallas now, so of course I was happy with that decision. But being back in Nashville, nothing's been like it. To be able to drive around and see all the spots I used to go to and
that aren't there anymore.
Aren't there anymore. How is Nashville so different now? I don't understand it, but. Yeah, I think to be back and like be able to see my parents so frequently as much as I'm able to, and have everybody, like my family, my friends at the game, man, it's just been like, it's so special because I've always wanted to just come back to Tennessee and play. So it feels great.
It's kind of instant ticket sales with your family.
Yeah. We fill the seats up.
Yeah, how big is the squad going to be to cheer you guys on, you think?
I'm glad you
rolling
guys
pretty
said
deep?
That. Yeah, because I need to get these ticket requests in like today. Because I've had so many people want to come to the games, and even, people at my parents' church want to come to the games.
Yeah.
Old coaches coming. It's like so many people around Nashville want to come and support, not only because of me and Dory and our presence, but just like the excitement of women basketball being here.
I guess Cherish won't be at Friday's game. She'll probably be busy, but I imagine she'll be here Wednesday and maybe Saturday.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to having everybody at the game, truly. But again, I need to get these tickets in.
Okay, that you can owe us later for the reminder.
I got you.
All right.
I got you.
Yeah. Put another couple on that list. Maybe.
We got you. Look, whatever y'all need.
I will say, you kind of mentioned it. We just talked to Megan Perry a minute ago about this. just walking in this building, which is obviously historical, so many cool, I've been to concerts here, and I walk in and I was kind of just awestruck how nice the setup is. How does it compare in your mind to the setups that you've seen with AU the last couple of seasons, maybe?
I feel like they always try to incorporate a little bit of detail of whatever city that we're in.
Yeah.
Dallas was also kind of like country style as well, but Vegas, it was like big lights, just entertainment. They just always put their own spin on things. But I think the arena, they set it up nicely. It's going to be a good viewpoint for the fans. And to see a basketball court in such a historic building like this is like a different take on what it's known for too. So yeah, I think they just did a really good job with just the setup of the game. I think it's going to be really nice for the fans to see.
Isabelle Harrison, former Hillsborough High School, former UT Lady Vol, joining us here on Main Street Sports today as we get you ready for AU basketball that starts off Wednesday night. Again, Team Izzy, it's Team Harrison, but
we like Team Izzy.
Y'all play the late game all 3 nights,
Oh,
Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Was that by design to let your people get here?
I don't know what the strategy was with that, but sometimes you get the dice like that. That happens in the WNBA too, right? You have late games or you have a Sunday game that starts at 12. You just really can't control it. So at least we have the mornings. We can go weightlifting. We can get our food early and just kind of chill until the game time.
I'm curious on that. Does your routine change at all? Or what have you kind of taken away from your first couple of trips compared to, obviously WNBA experience?
Mm-hmm.
Does the routine change at all in this, or do you keep things pretty much the same from week to week? Or day to day, even, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like my routine is pretty the same, and I've done so many practices and game day routines. I can just like spit it out, and it could be exactly what we need. So I want to give my team that consistency this week that we didn't really see in first week of scrimmages because it's scrimmages. Everybody's trying to figure it out. But yeah, I'll be able to provide that for the team, so we just have a clean week.
How big is the C going to be on the jersey? Are we talking like
right
massive?
In the middle of my chest.
Okay, all right, it's as big as possible. You gotta show that off, right?
For sure, yeah. If I could have it right here, I would. But no, I'm just gonna put a cute little patch right there, so y'all know what it is.
Obviously, this is a big week for you guys and for AU. How big was last week's announcement, though, that Nashville and Tennessee are putting in a WNBA expansion bid?
Yeah. I mean, you're starting to see these bids more and more as, like, honestly, months have gone by. I feel like the past year and a half, has just been so much interest in the WNBA game. And I've always said the talent has always been there. And I'm also just so blessed to still be a part of the game as the game is continuing to grow. But it just shows you there's a want there. People want to be able to watch us play, and the investment is there as well. And I'm glad to start seeing the benefits of it. And obviously, being a Lady Vol myself, there's no better way to have a team for Pat Summitt because what she means to the game, period. So I'm so happy that, Candace and Peyton and Bill Haslam have all just come together to try to get this bid to come through. And I feel like if Kathy allows it to go through, then she's going to have a great turnout for that team.
Now, are you headed back to the Sky this time around, or are you
I'm
a free agent?
Yeah, I'm definitely a free agent. I'm looking at all my options right now. You can tell, like, I thought last year's free agency was crazy. This has been like the craziest free agency I've seen. And I think that's just allowed me to kind of just take a step back too. And I'll land wherever I need to. But I just want to be at the place where I can just shine and have my opportunities to play and just really, be Izzy. I want to be in a format that that represents that, and a coach that is willing to depend on that too.
What was it like for you in Chicago this past year, with Angel? With Camila Cardozo? I mean, obviously there was some talent up front.
Yeah.
And, for a veteran like you, I'm sure you helped those youngsters along.
I honestly wish that we would have utilized us three more throughout the season. And towards the end, Milla and A had injuries, so they had to prematurely stop their season, but great rookie seasons. I think we could have utilized our size way, way more. But yeah, I think that didn't work out, obviously. And I think I kind of saw what Chicago had to offer me. And yeah, I just think I should just go another direction, and, best of luck to those guys.
You talked about how big the offseason has been here in this past week. Brittany going to Atlanta after spending her entire career in Phoenix just feels like seismic
Shock.
shift.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it just goes to show you that anything can happen. I think even the Luka trade to LA has just been like.
I was about to ask, what were you doing at about 11:55 on Saturday night? Were you asleep?
I was about to go to sleep, and then I saw it on TikTok first, and I thought someone was like joking, and then I went to Bleacher Report, and it was real. So I was just like, don't ever think you're untouchable to these teams. Like, it's always a business. You can have franchises that you really, really like, but yeah, it's getting weird out here. I definitely will say that. So I try to look at it as an opportunity. BG going to Atlanta is probably better for her game, better for her mental, and she picked it for a reason, So you always have options out there, and you try to make the best of what you got.
As we talked to Megan, one of the points that we made was that AU basketball gives you all an opportunity to play professionally during the WNBA offseason without having to leave the country to do it. And for so many of you who have had that experience of going overseas and playing, this has got to be a godsend, I would imagine.
I mean, yeah, since the past 4 years, I've only went overseas once, and that was after last season, and it was only for 2 months. Usually those seasons last for like 6 to 7 to 8 months. And you can only imagine doing that back every year, back and forth, the toll that it has on your body. And I think about all the time, if I would have had AU when I came out of my rookie year in Tennessee, I just know my body would have felt way better than it does now at my age. So to have leagues like AU to, like you said, play here, pay competitively, get paid, and just have really good opportunities for us in the States, it's going to make a difference to how people see us as athletes and the quality of our life, truly, as well.
Megan mentioned earlier, too, we talked about the personal trainers and everybody kind of, getting support. Is that something that's fully provided by AU, or are you guys left to bring in your own person if you so choose to kind of make things as smooth and comfortable as possible?
I mean, it's still a professional sport at the end of the day, too, but you don't have to go out of your way to find someone. Because AU
that option is definitely there.
Yeah, AU provides the trainers for you, and they also have WNBA and playing experience themselves. So you're not just getting paired with anybody. You're getting paired with somebody who knows how to make you better and to help your game here at AU.
I love that. We kind of touched on it at the start, but what was it like, and how many Hillsborough games are you going to be keeping tabs on while you're back in town here?
I told my friend Joe, he was the director of the Hall of Fame ceremony. I told him I'm going to come to see some girls' games while I was here, and I was actually supposed to see it the night of the ceremony, but it was a shooting in Antioch, Antioch High, and that's who Hillsborough was playing. So they cut off both the girls and men's games. So I definitely told them we were going to have to run it back so I could see the girls hoop out there.
Show some love.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Isabelle Harrison of AU basketball, her teams will be playing again at 7:30 on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday here at Municipal Auditorium. Come out and support. Izzy, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's great
Thank
to
you,
see
guys. Good to see you, too. It's been a long time.
It has, yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We'll catch up. Hey, let's take a break here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Come on back after this.
Cool, guys. Thank y'all for having me today.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Hey guys, Wade Neely here, one half of Main Street Sports Today, reminding you that Zoolumination continues right here at the Nashville Zoo. It's the nation's largest outdoor lantern festival. Some impressive stuff that has something for everybody here in the Music City. So again, Zoolumination rolling along all the way through February 9th. Make sure you grab your tickets now.
Hey, welcome back into the Monday Mirror edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. We're coming to you live from Municipal Auditorium, site of Athletes Unlimited's Pro Basketball Media Day. Again, they get their season started Wednesday night here at Municipal Auditorium. We visited with Megan Perry, Director of Basketball with AU 1A. And
singular.
Yes, exactly. And with Isabelle Harrison, former Hillsborough girls basketball standout, current Hillsborough Athletics Hall of Famer, Isabelle Harrison, and former Lady Ball. And we're going to see who else we can come up with between now and 4 o'clock. But we'll be here also discussing some local, regional, and national sports topics. And I guess we should probably try to get to the rundown here, since we've not been able to because we've had guests. Not that we're complaining, but we've had guests. So let's try to get back to normal with this weekend's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Hey folks, the Monday Rundown is brought to you each and every single week by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. So give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org and schedule an appointment today. Once again, that's Zion Christian Academy, where they are prepared for college and equipped for purpose.
Let's start with girls basketball from Friday night. Bradley Central with a 47-30 win over Clarksville Christian. It was Brentwood 70, Franklin 50. Christ Presbyterian with a 51-46 win over Brentwood Academy. Cane Ridge defeated Overton 52-41. Cheatham County 63, East Hickman 43. Clarksville defeated Springfield 52-38. Culleoka with a 43-29 win over Hampshire. Dixon County defeated Clarksville Northwest 49-35. East Nashville 66, Whites Creek 22. Ezel Harding 63, Davidson Academy 34. Murfreesboro Central down Franklin County 46-38. Donaldson Christian with a 43-28 win over Friendship Christian. Lawrence County, big win over Giles County, 59-46. It was Green Hill 50, Hendersonville 22. Macon County defeated Greenbrier 64-28. Hickman County defeated Harpeth 41-28. Harpeth Hall with a 48-40 win over Ensworth. It was Hume Fogg 33, Martin Luther King 21, and Independence 57, Centennial 10.
Other girls basketball action from Friday. Valor Collegiate picks up a 34-32 win versus Lawson. It was Lebanon 79, Wilson Central 35. Lincoln County all over Columbia 68-39. Loretto with a nice victory. Big victory, 70-8 versus Mount Pleasant. It was Providence Christian 53, Middle Tennessee Christian 20. Moore County with a 53-16 win versus Eagleville. Mount Juliet topping Gallatin in dramatic fashion, 62-22. Good Pasture picking up a presumed forfeit win, 2-0 versus Mount Juliet Christian. It was Nolensville 54, Ravenwood 8. Pearl Cone on top of Lead Academy 65-25. Lipscomb Academy 49. Pope John Paul II 34. Richland skirting by Community. Good game in Linville Friday night as Richland wins at 50-46. Oakland edging Rockvale 62-56. Cornersville slips by Santa Fe 47-38. Siegel on top of Riverdale 57-52. It was Laverne 40, Smyrna 15. Portland picking up a big win, 54-33 versus Station Camp. Stewart's Creek on top of Cookville, but only by 4, 71-67 your final there. Page 59, Summit 43. Creekwood with a 59-39 win versus Sycamore. Westmoreland cruising by Trousdale County 41-29. Warren County picks up a 57-23 win versus Spring Hill. Kenwood 69, West Creek 68. Sounds like a heck of a game in that showdown. Liberty Creek 62, White House Heritage 42. York Institute with a 82-47 win versus Watertown. And Zion Christian blows by STEM Academy 71-24.
In boys basketball action on Friday night, Brentwood downs the Admirals of Franklin 51-41. Brentwood Academy with a 61-45 win over Christ Presbyterian. It was Cane Ridge 79, Overton 64. East Hickman edges Cheatham County 59-57. Clarksville 69, Springfield 45. Kirkwood defeats Clarksville Northeast 81-30. Sycamore defeated Creekwood 58-53. Culleoka with a 62-45 win over Hampshire. Dixon County defeated Clarksville Northwest 85-46. East Nashville 58, Whites Creek 50. Ezel Harding with a 59-44 win over Davidson Academy. Franklin County downs Murfreesboro Central 64-39. Friendship Christian 66, Donaldson Christian 26. Giles County, big win for Nick Campbell and the guys, 55-34 over Lawrence County. Green Hill edges Hendersonville 44-43. Macon County with a 53-31 win over Greenbrier. It was Hickman County 55, Harpeth 47, Hillsborough 79, Hunters Lane 31. Hume Fogg with a 74-58 win over Martin Luther King. Independence defeats Centennial 59-41. Joe Burns downs East Robertson 63-36. Lawson with a 65-50 win over Valor Collegiate. Wilson Central defeats Lebanon 66-63. Sounds like a good one there. Lincoln County with a 61-45 win over Columbia Central. Mount Pleasant pulled it out, but didn't pull it out. Loretto with a 36-32 win over the Tigers. Montgomery Bell Academy 53, Ensworth 49, and Providence Christian 84, Middle Tennessee Christian 44.
Rounding the corner here, final few scores from Friday night on the boys' side. Eagleville all over Moore County, 74-28. Eagleville's rolling these days. Gallatin with a 77-72 win versus Mount Juliet. It was Good Pasture 90, Mount Juliet Christian 24. Nolansville with a 45-35 win versus Ravenwood. Pope John Paul II, 64-57 versus Lipscomb Academy. It was Richland 57, Community 43. Rockvale was a winner over Oakland, 70-65. Santa Fe all over Cornersville, 64-38. It was Siegel 51, Riverdale 43, Laverne 57, Smyrna 56, Portland 49-45 over Station Camp. It was Stewart's Creek 71, Cookville 52. Page slips by Summit 56-52. Westmoreland picks up a 66-36 win, walloping Trousdale County. It was Warren County all over Spring Hill 72-34 in that lopsided affair. Webb School 68, Grace Christian Franklin 59. Liberty Creek picks up a 56-38 win versus White House Heritage. York Institute 63, Watertown 56. And a great ball game, it sounds like, between STEM Academy and Zion Christian. STEM wins that game 77-75. Bonus score from Friday night. It was the Sabres 4 and the Preds 3 in NHL action.
Saturday, high school girls action. Franklin Road Academy with a 60-51 win over Columbia Academy. And Good Pasture edging East Nashville 58-55. On the boys' side, Columbia Academy with a 73-57 win over Franklin Road Academy. Franklin Christian defeated Middle Tennessee Christian 78-74, and Nashville Christian defeated Mount Juliet Christian 58-42. Women's college basketball action on Saturday. Alabama Huntsville defeats Trevecca 75-69. Georgetown of Kentucky with a 90-38 win over Cumberland. UT Southern defeats Thomas University out of Georgia 92-51. Stetson, 4 points better than Lipscomb, 74-70. Tennessee State's women with a 70-62 win over Southeast Missouri State. Middle Tennessee State defeats Texas El Paso 64-42. Florida Gulf Coast with a 45-35 win over Austin Peay. And Belmont defeats Murray State 96-89.
Men's college basketball scores coming in from Saturday. It was Alabama-Huntsville flirting with 100. They put up 98. Trevecca scored 86. High-scoring affair, but Alabama-Huntsville downs Trevecca in that one. Georgetown, Kentucky defeats Cumberland 99-66. A lot of high-scoring games at these Division II and NAIA levels as UT Southern put up 85, defeating Thomas University 85-66. It was Tennessee defeating Florida in big fashion on Rocky Top 64-44. MTSU slips by UTEP. Nice win for the Blue Raiders 71-68. Oklahoma throttles Vanderbilt 97-67. Eastern Kentucky picks up an 88-82 win versus Austin Peay. SEMO with an 89-87 win. I think it went to overtime versus TSU Saturday. Hard-fought loss for the Tigers there. Lipscomb 87, Bellarmine 80. Another score from the ice wasn't good for the Preds this weekend. They fell to the Penguins Saturday night 3-0. And into Sunday now, it was Tennessee ladies knocking off Missouri 76-71. Ole Miss knocks off Vanderbilt 76-61. Evansville with a big win versus Belmont here in the Music City, 80-75 in men's action. And then last night in the NBA, it was the Grizzlies with a nice come-from-behind victory, winning versus the Bucks 132-119.
At Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, won 7 in a row versus the Bucks. They've owned them lately.
There. Wow. Okay. Tonight's basketball schedule. High schools. Frank Hughes is at Hampshire. That's a 6 o'clock start for the girls. Guys to follow. Also at 6 o'clock, a doubleheader as Murfreesboro Central goes to Lynchburg, taking on the Moore County Raiders. Gordonsville is at Watertown at 6. Pearl Cone is at White House Heritage at 6. Girls only. Kip Nashville is at the Tennessee Heat. That's a 6 o'clock game. That will be followed by a boys game between Knowledge Academies and the Tennessee Heat at about 7:30. On the ice, the Preds are back home at Bridgestone, right down the street here. They will take on Ottawa. That's a 6:30 puck drop. You can see it on FanDuel Sports. 7 o'clock, Grizzlies had to hustle back home because San Antonio will be meeting them at the FedEx Forum. That's a 7 o'clock tip. It is also on FanDuel Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your rundown. Always by the fine folks at Piggly Wiggly in Neely's Mill in Columbia. Be sure and check out their delicious daily deli lunch options available from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Also, their hand-cut meats and everything is cost plus 10% at the cash register. Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill, Columbia, bringing you our rundown. Former Major League Baseball Commissioner Fay Vincent passed away over the weekend. He had been he had some issues with bladder cancer and had undergone radiation and chemotherapy for that and developed some complications, ended his treatment, and passed away Saturday in Vero Beach, Florida. He was commissioner for 3 years, took over the position after the death of Bart Giamatti, and held that position for 3 years before a power play, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. He was trying to prevent a stoppage in play, basically, and the owners wanted, to confront players at that time over the labor situation. So he was forced out in 92. Again, spent 3 years in the position. Angering owners by becoming the first management official to admit collusion among teams against free agents. Suspended Steinbrenner, divided expansion fees among both leagues, regardless of where the team was going, attempted to force National League realignment, and negotiated a settlement that ended a 1990 spring training lockout. So, again, only held the position for 3 years, but was in the middle of a lot.
Yeah, a wild, tumultuous for considering how short the tenure was, right? And Don't really remember this, certainly live, but I mean, it also kind of in the mix for the '89 World Series, which was interrupted for 10 days with the earthquake. And that's kind of just one of those sad, obviously, but also mythological moments in the history of the game. And those clips live on forever. So obviously a sad situation anytime you lose kind of a figure. It feels like they hit a little different in baseball too. And him departing, we certainly wish all the best to him and his family, because that's a tough situation to go through. But, man, like you said, a lot to take in for a guy that held the position for a short time.
His first full season as commissioner began after a 32-day spring training lockout. Again, in July of that same of 1990, he and George Steinbrenner signed an agreement under which Steinbrenner resigned as managing general partner of the Yankees after making a $40,000 payment to a gambler, as George Steinbrenner was trying to dig up some dirt on Dave Winfield. Steinbrenner was reinstated in 1993. In July of 1992, he ordered the realignment of the National League, moving the Cubs and Cardinals to the west and the Braves and Reds to the east, which geographically makes a lot of sense. But the Cubs fought it and got an injunction, a federal injunction to prevent it. And then after Vincent stepped down, it was just dismissed. So that's why we didn't see that realignment take hold until they went, I guess it was when Colorado came into the league and they went to 3 divisions, was when Atlanta went to the east. So, yeah, again, a lot went on during Faye Vincent's tenure, and they eventually forced him out. Selig and Reinsdorf got the league presidents, which you don't hear about those anymore. And I guess with interleague play and everything else, but American League President Bobby Brown, National League President Bill White called a special meeting. Owners voted 18-9, no confidence in Vincent, and he quit on Labor Day that year. The commissioner has to look out for the fans, and the owners don't want to hear me speak that idea, he said in stepping down. Bud Selig at that point was appointed chairman of the executive council, led Major League Baseball through that 94-95 strike, became commissioner in 1998, and held that position until his 2015 retirement. So Selig succeeded Vincent as commissioner in basically an overthrow.
Yeah, and I'm reading an article on Sports Illustrated basically saying seems like his intentions were certainly pure, but he didn't have a lot of support, it seemed like. And they say he was the right man at the wrong time, and his love of the game was indisputable. So I respect that, the fact that, hey, potentially making or at least proposing some tough decisions in the interest of the good of the game, that's really all you can do or all you can ask for, right? And if the owners don't kind of have your back on that, there's not much more you can do beyond that. So obviously sad of his passing, but kind of neat to read a little more kind of behind the scenes for a guy whose tenure was so short but was very impactful.
Yeah, like you said, if you kind of act at the owner's pleasure in that position, and if they aren't in support of you, then there's not a whole lot you can do at that point. And basically, I think Vincent kind of came to that conclusion.
I love this quote too. He's basically said he was only half joking because he had a position with Columbia Pictures before he arrived, and so he joked when he first got there that he had more money than a lot of the owners, which probably didn't necessarily sit well with those guys because they fancy themselves as the big shots. So probably didn't do any favors, but kind of. In a sad way, of course, fun to read some of these anecdotes from a short tenure.
In one of his lasting acts as commissioner, he chaired an 8-member committee for statistical accuracy, which removed the asterisk that had been next to Roger Maris's entry as a season home run leader. Obviously, that's been since passed, and deleted 50 no-hitters. The group defined a no-hitter as games of 9 innings or more that ended with no hits. So I don't know if you had some rainouts in there that have been included or some rain-shortened games or what, but they kind of streamlined the definition of no-hitters and denied some to some pitchers. So, again, I'm sure that went over well with some folks. Also.
Yeah, imagine that, right? You've been going around telling all your friends, family, grandkids, hey, I threw 4 no-hitters. Well, actually, 3 of them got removed. Sorry to tell you, Grandpa, but they've been rescinded because you only tossed 5 games. Then the rain came in. So, probably, like you said, did not go over well particularly, but that kind of speaks to what that SI article is talking about. In the interest, in the overall good of the game, the intentions, at least on the surface, seemed kind of pure.
Yale graduate. Last year, he made a $2 million gift to his alma mater to endow the Yale baseball coach's position in his father's name. So, I mean, this guy's a baseball fan to the heart, clearly. And so anytime you lose somebody like that, regardless of how tumultuous the times were that they worked in, it's a tough loss. And so, again, our thoughts are with his family and friends and with the baseball community. Faye Vincent, dead at 86, passed away Saturday in Florida. Let's take a break here on Main Street Sports today as we wind down hour number 1 of the Monday Mirror here from Municipal Auditorium, site of the Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball Media Day. We will return after this.
Hi, I'm Riley, a certified physician associate here at Premier Foot and Ankle Centers of Tennessee. We have a couple locations, Murfreesboro, McMinnville, as well as Franklin. We treat people of all ages. We're excited to get you back on your feet and hope we can help you today.
Call us today to schedule an appointment. We look forward to seeing you.
Because here at Premier Foot and Ankle, we believe that
the journey begins with happy feet.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Hour number 2 of the Monday Mirror here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, starts right now. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. We're coming to you from Municipal Auditorium, where Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball will start its month-long season on Wednesday night. 2 games right here at 5 and 7:30. They have had their media day earlier today. We've been joined by Director of Basketball Megan Perry and Isabel Harrison, Nashville resident, former Hillsborough High School standout, and former Lady Vol. And if you missed that, be sure and go back and find us on Twitter or on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you find sports talk shows. Plenty of great stuff as they get ready for their season again. As Isabel mentioned when we were speaking to her, where were you at about 11:45 or 12 o'clock Saturday night?
I was getting ready for bed, and then I didn't go to bed until about 2:30 because
you were shook, huh?
Yep, the Woj bomb of all Woj bombs that should have been but wasn't. Shams had to hold it down, and he had to tweet out, "This is not a joke. This is not a test." My phone started blowing up with the fellow night owls talking about, is this for real? Is this going down? And yes was the resounding answer we got with a seismic, not just NBA trade, but sports trade.
Yeah, I mean, this may be one of the biggest, and we might be tipping our hand on what our top 5 is tomorrow, actually, but this may be one of the biggest trades in sports history. When you're talking about Luka Doncic, as well as Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris, going from Dallas to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick in 2029.
Yeah, just a wild trade that we had just talked to Clay Bailey last week about the Memphis Grizzlies, and we talked about their potential activity at the trade deadline, and we said, man, there's always a lot of rumors. There's always a lot of smoke. There was none of that with this, and this was that's what made it so intriguing. It was a bombshell. So, I got to ask, how did you consume the news Saturday night?
Same way. I don't remember what it was I was watching, but scrolling through Twitter as I am wont to do, and saw Shams, and it's like, what? Who's hacked Shams' account?
Yeah,
Why is Dallas trading Luka, and why are they trading him for AD? With all due respect, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense, and I'm not sure that I've heard anything really that makes it make any more sense in the day and a half since.
It's a crazy trade for a variety of reasons. I mean, we could have done a whole show, and I think a lot of sports talk shows are within their right to do
particularly in Dallas and in LA.
No doubt. I mean, this one changes a lot for both of those franchises. Not as much for the Jazz, with all due respect. Kind of the forgotten part of this trade here, because we never, hardly ever see the star for star swap, it feels like. And it feels like for so many players, Mikal Bridges is obviously the one that was really, really pointed out by everybody. They got 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and Dallas got 1. I mean, it kind of defied the laws of everything that we had seen across virtually any sports landscape. Kind of what appears on paper to be a lopsided. You have a guy who's a top 5 player entering, if not already clearly in the years of his quote-unquote prime. And I don't want to diminish Anthony Davis, but he is certainly obviously older and going to be, therefore, phasing out of what little bit of prime he is still in. I still think he's in his prime slightly, but he's clearly on the tail end of the prime. So that's what made it so shocking and so chaotic. And, I mean, it was just bonkers. The memes were out of control. I mean, you had nightclub DJs that were announcing the news. I mean, it was epic, right? I mean, everybody. Izzy told us she was catching it on TikTok. I mean, anybody and everybody was talking about this thing as it went down Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, if you went to bed at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, you missed it.
So
you missed everything.
Great meme that said, me who goes to bed and gets 8 hours of sleep every night and eats a good, clean diet and, safely, it's the bus. It's the 2 sides of the bus. And they're over there, the depressed one. And then on the other side, it said me who is a night owl and eats not necessarily the best diet, but stays up till 2 in the morning, but actually knew about the Anthony Davis trade when it went down. So
there you go.
Score 1 for the night owls. It was bonkers and a seismic shift. I mean, I was going to ask Izzy about it. I didn't even have to. She brought it up on her own. That kind of tells you the tale of the tape, right? I mean, this is something that reverberated not just through the NBA, but obviously across the sports landscape.
Absolutely. To your point, The Utah Jazz are acquiring Jalen Hood-Schifino, a second-round pick from the Clippers in 25, this year, and a Mavs second-round pick this year. So Utah is involved, but certainly on the periphery of this whole thing. So, but it was wild. Saturday night / Sunday morning was really wild. Let's take a quick break here on Main Street Sports today, because it looks as if we have another player being provided for us. So let's get with them here. Let's get a break and let's come back to Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vilay Saisuka, CEO and founder of Premier Foot and Ankle Centers of Tennessee here in Murfreesboro. We offer foot and ankle care from ingrown toenails to diabetic foot wounds. We also fix ankle fractures and things like that.
Call us today to schedule an appointment. We look forward to seeing you.
Because here at Premier Foot and Ankle, we believe that
the journey begins with happy feet.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
The Monday Mirror here on Main Street Sports today continues as we come to you from Municipal Auditorium here in Nashville, site of Athletes Unlimited's Pro Basketball Media Days. Earlier today, they begin their season on Wednesday with a doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock. And we are now joined by the other half of the AU basketball Harrison family.
Can't have one without the other on the show.
Exactly.
I mean, it's only fitting.
You definitely can't.
Dory Harrison, who also played her high school ball at Hillsboro, who played her collegiate ball at Kentucky, though. So trying to figure that out. But,
But we went ahead and finished at Lipscomb, too, so I brought it back home.
That's right. I knew that. Tell me the coach that you transferred back and played for at Lipscomb, young lady.
Sumsky.
What's her first name?
Lauren.
Lauren. She played her high school ball down in Memphis, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I remember her.
Good recall by you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Dory. We appreciate you coming up and spending some time with
of
us.
course.
We talked to Izzy earlier. She's a little bit more of a veteran in terms of playing career. You were just walking us through. You played in the here at AU last year.
Yes.
And then went overseas and had a pretty good year.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
like.
last year was my first year with Athletes Unlimited, and we were in Dallas. The season went great, and then from that opportunity, I got scouted to play in Chile, and it was, first of all, Chile's beautiful. If you haven't been, you guys put that on your bucket list. Castles and beaches, you'd love it. But we ended up winning the National Chilean Cup, and I won MVP. So it was a great first experience as a rookie, and now I'm back for season 2, AAU. 1 year more experience, and it's been great. Honestly, like playing with my sister is an honor. Her being in her 10th year of her career and me being starting my second, like it's been such an advantage and a privilege to have her in my ear all the time. People say we sound alike and run alike, so it's been great. I really am honored, and being from here, it's all the better.
Yeah, you're back home, and we joked with Izzy too. I mean, you ride by places and they're not there anymore.
They're not.
If you haven't been back in 6 weeks, it feels like things change that quickly up here.
Yep, they're popping up everywhere, the coffee shops and the boutiques. But I love it though. Nashville's been such a good hub for small businesses to get a good start, get a good audience and market, and I just love it, especially East Nashville. I love East Nashville. So creative, so much good food, and you can just see all the work they've done over there. So
I'm also, the envy is real. I had one of my best friends lived in Chile for a year,
really?
Right after college, spent there teaching English, and he came back with glowing reviews. So it is high on my list. So the envy is real. And you were there for how long?
I was there for 5 weeks.
Okay, so you got to experience maybe not the full deal, but you got a healthy taste, it sounds like.
Yeah, I got most of it.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah, two cities, Santiago and Viña del Mar. Viña del Mar is the home of Casablanca, the best winery in the world. So it was great.
So did you?
For my championship.
Can you give a review? Yeah.
So I got to taste it. I can confirm it's the best. For our championship, our coach bought 6 bottles and we poured it all over the court. So it was great.
If you're going to celebrate, you might as well celebrate with the best stuff, right?
You got to do the best.
Absolutely. Dory, that exposure last year with AU got you the Chilean hookup. Is that what you're looking forward to again this time around, to just using this to maybe propel your career in a direction?
Absolutely. Athletes Unlimited was the first domestic option for professional players not have to play overseas in their off season. So my rookie year, the traditional route is you graduate from college, you go straight overseas, right? Or you graduate from college and you enter the W draft. And so my career has been a telltale sign of unconventional paths. So AU was my first year professional, and I got to do it in the United States in front of my family. So absolutely, just hoping to definitely go back overseas. And as you know, the WNBA is expanding. Nashville just got a bid thanks to Candace Parker and Bill Haslam.
Shout out.
Yep. Big shout out to them. And so that's 3 confirmed teams. That's 36 more spots. I'm just going to keep working hard, and whatever comes my way, I know that God put it in my path. So I'm just going to keep working.
Does that maybe spark a little bit more interest? That announcement last week of Nashville's expansion bid, does that spark a little bit more interest, do you think, in what you guys are doing here for the next month?
Absolutely. And I think just the interest in women's basketball, you see it on the rise. I mean, there was a study that came out that we are the second leading views, right below the NHL. So it's definitely a rise, and I know you guys see it, you guys feel it. But as far as Nashville's concerned, Tennessee Summit would be an amazing opportunity, not just for Nashville, but for professional players all over.
And Megan spoke to it when we had her on a little bit ago. You know, the history of girls and women's basketball in this state is just so compelling that, you know, when we saw that this bid had been announced, it feels, and maybe we're a little biased because we're right here, but it feels kind of like a no-brainer, really.
Yeah. And I think AU would be a great way kind of to test the waters, you know, of interest, of views, of, you know, ticket sales, things like that. The things that go into actually getting the team here and the logistics side of it. And I have heard nothing but glowing reviews and excited interest. Like, everyone's coming out. So I don't think it should be any different for the summit.
That was the interesting part to me, is the timing of the announcement, because I anticipated let AU run its course here, collect the data, do whatever studies you want, and then maybe announce a bid. But Tennessee Summit kind of got out in front of that before you guys even started taking the court here. So that to me says, hey, we already know and we like what we have here.
Exactly. And so that bid is just the first starts. The team would be expected to be here in 2028. So we have potential to have 4 more seasons here to keep that interest rising and going. And as long as the Nashville loves AU loves Nashville.
Do you feel any extra pressure as kind of like the ceremonial host in a sense? You know, there's some other Tennesseans in the league, but do you feel any extra pressure kind of to showcase what Music City's got?
There's zero pressure. It's all honor. Like I've been.
You got teammates coming over to the house and such. I mean, how deep are we getting?
Everyone's asking for food recommendations and where to get their hair done and nails done. You know, all the girl things, and so that's been an honor to like share vetted people, and that's what I meant earlier is the opportunity to put Nashville, the money in people's pockets essentially, and just, you know, connect them with great things. Their portfolio is growing, and then our teammates are getting the top service in Nashville. Like, I think we have everything you could need. So being a host, I've been taking it very seriously.
Now Izzy says she's living in Dallas. Are you based here?
I'm in Dallas too.
You're in Dallas too? Okay. But still, again, obviously you've got a lot of familiarity with the area and that kind of thing. And we were joking with Isabel about the ticket sales and your family and how they're going to get boosted as a result. Obviously,
absolutely.
One of 12 siblings, one of 11, one of 12.
There's 12 total.
12
so
total.
11 siblings.
Yes. So yeah. That's a nice little chunk of ticket sales right there, theoretically.
Absolutely. We're going to sell the stadium out, guys.
And Mo and I also brought this up with all of our guests, really. It's just so neat to walk into a building that has such a rich history of athletics, but also, you know, great concerts and entertainment options. And then we walk in and, I mean, the venue kind of speaks for itself, but what you guys have set up here with AU has been so neat. I mean, it kind of took my breath away just walking out, just seeing the transformation. You know, I've been to some decent concerts. I've been to some real bad concerts here over the years, and seeing this is a top-notch production.
Yes, it's the whole AU team. We love the best, and everything's intentional, from the colors to the positioning to like the blackout curtains. Someone made a comment the other day that sometimes when you're playing and the leaderboard is going and you hear the dings, it feels like a video game. And I love that. I love that analogy, but we just take really good pride in having great people around us and like producing the best we can. And one thing I would tell everybody to do, not only just come to the games and enjoy some great basketball, but enjoy our fan experience. We always have autographs and things after the game, t-shirt hauls, things like that. And then for you Nashville natives that know the Municipal Auditorium, take a stroll out into the outskirts of the building. You'll see a mural painted by local artist Tarabella of me, Isabelle, and ALYSHA Clark right here on the left. Took her about 2 weeks to paint, and then there's a picture wall. There's just a lot of cool, like, intentional ways that they've tried to market us. And AU's really, really forward about celebrating who we are individually as well as players. And so that's why I love it here. I'll always be at AU, loyal to AU and what they've done for me in my career.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, that mural, because, you know, obviously recognizing 3 locals, ALYSHA and everything that she's done, the former Mount Juliet High School standout who went on and started Belmont and MTSU and has enjoyed a great career in the WNBA, and she's also playing here. You know what team she's on off the top of your head?
She's on the Aces.
No, I mean here. Do you know whose team she's on this week?
She is on I believe the Purple Squad.
Purple Squad. Let's see. ALYSHA is on.
We're on
Yeah, I
Sydney's
think
team.
she's on Sydney Colson's team.
Okay.
Yeah. Sydney Colson, Alyssa Peely, Teresa Plaisance, Alicia Clark. So she went in the 4th round. Shea Petty, Maya Caldwell, Kiara Leslie, Lydia Rivers, another ex-Lady Vol, Megan Simmons, and Aisha Sutherland are on Team Colson. Let's see. Kirsten Bell's team has Odyssey Sims, the former Baylor standout, ex-Lady Vol Jordan Horston, Mackenzie Forbes, Asia Taylor, Angel Jackson, Kristen Williams, Daisha Fair, Desiree Young, and Jude Schimmel. Is Jude Schimmel related to Shawnee Schimmel that played at Louisville? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's a high probability.
That's a little AU trivia we're going to have to dig up by the end of
there
this
can't be that
series.
many Schimmels around, right? And then your other captain was Evina Westbrook. She's got Ty Harris, Elizabeth Williams, Bria Hartley, Victoria Saxton. Did y'all play together, or was she ahead of you at Kentucky?
Who?
Saxton.
Oh, she was. She's a little younger than me, I believe.
Okay. Kia Nurse, Jalen Sherrod, Crystal Bradford, Saria McGuire, and Kenesha Bell. So, again, Wednesday's games are you've got Team Bell and Team Westbrook in the opener, and then you've got Team Colson and Team Harrison in the nightcap on Wednesday.
7:30, guys.
You looking forward to playing with Izzy?
Yeah, I mean, we played last year together, and we played in scrimmage week this past week together, and it's been great. I love playing with her.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, Megan brought this point up. Speak to it as much as you like. The My Cause initiative, are you comfortable sharing kind of your situation or what your cause is going to be and kind of maybe overall what that means? It's kind of one of the cool things that AU also brings to the table.
Yeah, I love talking about this part of the programming. So there's 40 players. The leaderboard ranks us 1 through 40 based on our individual and our team performance. And where you end up on that rank, 1 through 40 at the end of the season, guarantees you a bonus. So AU matches that bonus to whatever charity of your choosing. So a lot of people choose causes that are really close to their heart, or illnesses or things that affected their family and their upbringing. So this year I'm supporting Scars Uncovered, which is a burn survivor programming started by Andrea Pitts here in Nashville, Tennessee. And right before my pro season of AU back in Dallas, I got into an accident. I'm a burn survivor myself. So I had only been walking for 3 months before I played professionally. So I was literally working out 3 times a day, every single day, like just to get in shape, because I got the contract, and it was a lot of pressure, but like God healed me, and I was able to impact in so many other ways. AU is such a good, well-rounded program. So I was obviously it was my rookie year, so I didn't know anything about anything, guys. So I was looking for other ways to impact and support the players. So I started a Bible study, which we're still going on strong second year. We have guest speakers and singers and things like that. But yeah, this year I'm supporting Scars Uncovered, which they've been amazing to me and to my story, and I just love them. They're great.
That's the part that I love the most, is that there's almost always a personal connection, whether it's directly impacting someone like yourself or a friend, a family, a relative, or loved one, that has kind of had a situation. So that's to me, one of the coolest things of this whole operation.
I agree. I totally agree.
Wow, I'm blown away. Dory Harrison played her high school basketball at Hillsboro, played at Kentucky and Lipscomb. She's now in her second season with Athletes Unlimited. Again, they get started on Wednesday night right here at Municipal Auditorium. Come out and check them out. Dory, we appreciate you taking some time with us. Great to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Do we have a number on how deep the squad's going to be? I mean, are we going to 50?
Minimum Minimum is 12, obviously.
Yeah, we got that
But
established.
Me and Isabel have 25 nieces and nephews. So
Yeah. Triple digits is within sight.
we're getting there. It's looking like triple digits, guys.
Okay, maybe we can get some of them courtside too and really kind of get things going.
Exactly.
We might have to come out just to see how many folks y'all
Yeah.
have here.
You'll recognize this. It'll be a stack of tall people just on the baseline.
Exactly. Hey, Dory, again, thank you for spending some
Yeah.
time with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. We'll come back to the Monday Mirror after this.
Hi, I'm Riley, a certified physician associate here at Premier Foot and Ankle Centers of Tennessee. We have a couple locations, Murfreesboro, McMinnville, as well as Franklin. We treat people of all ages. We're excited to get you back on your feet and hope we can help you today.
Call us today to schedule an appointment. We look forward to seeing you.
Because here at Premier Foot and Ankle, we believe that
The journey begins with happy feet.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We're back here at Municipal Auditorium, site of Athletes Unlimited's Pro Basketball Media Day earlier today. It's the Monday Mirror edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. And, with everything else that we've been talking about, Wade, we should probably remind folks, it is Super Bowl week.
Oh, baby.
The Eagles and the Chiefs have landed in New Orleans. It's the big media day melee down there tonight, I guess. It's it never disappoints. That'll be something crazy to come out of that thing tonight. So be sure and check your local listings for all of the goofiness as far as that goes. Somebody will ask something stupid or do something stupid, but it's almost as newsworthy as the game itself, typically.
Yeah, it's always one of the newsworthy events for sure. You don't really get much about the game. Nobody's learning anything they don't already know. But yeah, you'll be a couple of viral clips. Somebody's going to get 1 million views off one clip tonight. We just don't necessarily know who will be a part of that.
And whether it'll be intentional or not.
Yeah, right. I'm sure some Taylor Swift will be asked of folks, especially after the Grammys last night. So it'll be it'll be fascinating to see. And Roger Goodell had spoke to the media earlier today. From what I read, it was a very limited media availability.
In terms of who was.
Yeah, so a lot of folks can ask, and they sell tickets now to the media day event. So if you wanted to sit in the crowd and watch folks ask questions, you're allowed to do so. It'd be as if they were selling tickets to this thing that we just went to this morning here. So I mean, this is always kind of the unofficial or official, if you will, kickstart of Super Bowl week.
I know that there's a lot of Chiefs fatigue. We talked about this. Kansas City going for a third straight Super Bowl championship. No one has done that before.
Mm-hmm. Not in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah, because Green Bay won the last NFL championship and then the first 2 Super Bowls, but no one has won 3 straight Super Bowls. So, I mean, got a chance to see history this weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll talk more as the week unfolds, but I think it's going to be a fun game, and that point spread has not budged much, if any, depending on what book you're looking at. I mean, it's still lingering right around 1.5. So Vegas at least is anticipating a close game. Aesthetically, I don't know that it will be the most aesthetically pleasing game. I don't think we're talking about 2 teams. I don't think Mahomes perhaps, but I don't think we're talking about dueling quarterbacks throwing for 400 yards. Brady's not going for 500 like the Falcons or anything crazy. But what we are potentially going to see is a slugfest, I think. That's just my personal feel. I think this game is going to be just like several of the other key playoff games. Mo, it feels like we've talked about several key playoff games, and everybody wants to dig in, the X's and O's and break things down. At the end of the day, the teams that don't turn the ball over have won the game. We're not reinventing. There's no need to reinvent the wheel sometimes in the postseason. That's how several of these games have played out. And it feels like, if things hold serve, we're in for a good one coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, you'd like to think. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I look for going into this game is let's just have a game that I'm still interested in watching in the fourth quarter and ideally deep into the fourth quarter. Just keep it close. Blowouts, with so many casual football fans, if that, watching this game, blowouts don't really help a whole lot and doesn't hold anybody's interest. So ideally, we can get a good ball game out of this, and I don't see any reason to think we won't.
Yeah, I will tell you this: one person that is hoping nobody's watching the Super Bowl, and that is Drake, because not only did Kendrick win every Grammy under the planet last night at Drake's expense, he's been to put on a show during halftime on Sunday. So poor Drake is hoping that everybody's cable just cuts out. He might make some phone calls to YouTube TV and try and cut some internet streams off right there.
Yeah, internet streams, not cable. Nobody's got cable anymore.
I know some people with cable. Not many, but I do know a few.
Venturing away from Super Bowl 59, what about Chip Kelly bolting Ohio State after 1 year to go and be Pete Carroll's offensive coordinator out at Vegas?
Man, John Bryce, we had him on the show last week. Our guy batted 1,000. He nailed every prediction. He said Chris Ash was coming to the Buckeyes, and he said that Chip Kelly, if he got an NFL offer,
he would
go, and he gets a great offer. Man, you get him. What more could you really do if you're Chip Kelly, a guy who, despite all the success at Oregon, kind of always felt inevitable that he was going to take his act to the NFL. And kind of in the sense of, Belichick and some other coaches, you always wonder, and you hear a lot about folks just want to be at the professional game. Vrabel especially, when he was linked with that Ohio State job, everybody says, well, Vrabel doesn't want to recruit. Vrabel doesn't want to deal with college kids. You want to deal with professionals. It feels like Chip Kelly kind of felt inevitable in that sense. Not much more you could do at Ohio State. You lose 2 games, the wrong 2 games next year, and you're getting fired a year after you won the national championship.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation that he steps into at Vegas, though, because they have no quarterback. Well, they have quarterbacks, but they have no quarterback. Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder started for the Raiders this past year. I don't think any of those guys will be starting this year.
doesn't feel like it, especially obviously if they draft somebody. And that's going to be the big question is do the Raiders make a move, or do we see, what Kelly can do, maybe work his magic. O'Connell seemed to have some steam, and obviously he didn't have that great of a season last year in the minutes he did get in there. But Chip Kelly has taken some guys, kind of thinking about Nick Foles and some other folks. We obviously know what he did with Michael Vick, but that was a superstar we're talking about. But he's kind of shined up a few you-know-whats. So if they don't get the guy exactly where they want him, maybe you test the free agency waters, whether it's Darnold or some other folks, or do you see what Chip can do and then make a move? I'm kind of fascinated by this. I think if they get the guy they want at the position they want, they will take him, which would be a nice new shiny toy. But if they don't, I'll be really fascinated to see what kind of magic, so to speak, he could work with the guys that maybe already are on the roster.
They've got the number 6 pick, so I guess there's a chance that somebody's still there. Obviously, depending on what the teams ahead of them do. But, yeah. So, Chip Kelly, former UCLA coach, joins Pete Carroll, former USC coach, in Vegas.
It's kind of how it goes, right? And they will be – the Raiders are kind of like the Cowboys in a sense. Yes, they're pretty much an unserious franchise, but you oddly kind of can't look away. But in a cool way. You kind of appreciate the fact that the Raiders are this weird hodgepodge. That's their identity. They're kind of like, hey, we're the Raiders. Love us or hate us, we are who we are, and it ain't been good lately.
Yeah,
ain't been good for a while.
I think the difference between the Raiders and the Cowboys is the Raiders kind of embrace their dysfunction.
Yes, they really have no choice. But in a weird way, it seems like they kind of do.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys try to whistle by the graveyard and tell you that we're okay. Really, we are when they are really messed up.
Yeah, so I'm going to be fascinated to see. I don't think anybody is expecting them certainly to come in and win the division. We've talked at length about the other head coaches that are in that division, which Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll gets reunited. Fun little rivalry over the years. So the bar is pretty low. And you got two guys that Chip Kelly's regarded as, an offensive whiz. And we saw some great things at Ohio State to show he's still got a little gas left in the tank. Carroll's the consummate optimist and upbeat guy. So maybe they make a little magic happen. But I'm also not going to be surprised if they go 2-16 next year or 2-17.
2-15.
Like I said.
Right there with them, with the possibility of going 2-15, is the Cleveland Browns, and their situation doesn't get any easier as defensive end Myles Garrett wants out. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, and that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Not a whole lot of that's pretty direct. That's pretty straight on. I want to play for a Super Bowl. I don't see it happening here. Get me out of here.
Absolutely. And, we saw him drop some veiled or maybe not so thinly veiled remarks during the season. But everybody said, it still feels like he wants to be here. But maybe he was just kind of, hey, don't be surprised if. And Cleveland's going to be obviously searching because they're in need of pretty much an entire rebuild, which is crazy to think about for a team that made the playoffs last year. And then this year were a dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. And then next year you're faced with the potentially of extreme uncertainty at quarterback. And not only that, now you're looking at losing your biggest star on the entire team.
Without question. Not long ago, GM Andrew Berry addressed the possibility of trading Garrett, said that he wouldn't trade Garrett for 2 first-round picks. Well, you may have to take 2 first-round picks, but good luck getting offered 2 first-round picks at this point, now that Garrett has made it public that he wants out.
Yeah.
Because much as we've talked about with the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler, you don't have a whole lot of bargaining power if you are Cleveland at this point, because Miles has kind of aired your dirty laundry. He wants out. So you've almost got to accommodate him, don't you?
You almost have to, and Cleveland's in kind of a no-win situation yet again here, because the only real silver lining is they get a little closer to surface out of being in salary cap hell with the Deshaun contract. Miles, yeah, you're probably not going to get top dollar now that this has kind of been aired out, but with kind of his salary off the books, he's not owed any dead money at this point. So, it wouldn't be great, but it would at least kind of give you the chance to kind of start putting pieces in place for the future. Obviously, no fan base wants to think about the future before we even started the current, it feels like. But that's kind of where we're headed. And so, man, it's a tough time to be a Browns fan, because that's really has been the only constant and kind of the only real silver lining that franchise has had the last several years.
No doubt. The NFL apparently is considering using electronics to help measure first downs beginning next season. It still won't involve a chip in the football, but it's camera imaging or camera tracking that would be in use. Now, the Bills-Chiefs situation with the questionable spot in that AFC Championship game, this wouldn't necessarily address that, but anytime you have something like that come up, somebody goes back to, we're still using 2 sticks and a chain to measure a first down. Well, I mean, it works, but and I don't know that the measurement is the issue. It's the spotting that's the issue.
Yeah.
So I don't know. In true NFL fashion, they've come up with an idea to address this, but it's still not going to address it.
Yeah, and they're kind of breadcrumbing us, right? Because we saw this in the preseason, virtually the same setup that they're talking about implementing, it sounds like, in the regular season. And it's not exactly what everybody wants. And I'll say what I said in the preseason, too. Man, give me the chain gang. There's nothing more compelling than your season hanging in the balance, and you're leaving it up to some guys just trotting across the field, and you're just holding your breath, and it's like riding a roller coaster, baby. You just hang on for dear life. Give me that every day of the week. I'm not ready for the tech overlords to start marking things off just yet.
I kind of like that being 2 links short,
yeah,
or whatever it is.
So I'm saying you're watching the guy run across the field, and you're like, no, he zigged when he should have zagged, and now if we come up short, I got a bone to pick with. So give me that, especially because, it doesn't happen even very much, it feels like, anymore, but it's gripping theater when it does.
Yeah, but again, it's more about the spot than the measurement. So, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a situation where 10 yards wasn't measured, but so.
Yeah, and I just don't understand also how things go so well in tennis with Hawkeye technology. I just don't know how you don't just look at that and say, all right, let's just duplicate that. That's the thing that kind of throws me for a loop. We're talking about the most impactful and revenue-generating league in the world, and you can't just steal the idea that tennis is implementing so well. I just don't understand that part.
I think that's the thing. I think the NFL has too much ego. They got to come up with their own.
But like I said, they're breadcrumbing us a little bit. We're giving you a little bit, but we kind of still got to keep you on the hook because we're running out of ways to really kind of further the game. I mean, we're getting about as close to perfect as you can get. So you don't want to just, throw the whole ensemble out there just yet. So they're kind of breadcrumbing us, it feels like, with this news a little bit.
Let's take a break here on the Monday Mirror edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. When we come back, we'll get you into our final segment here from Municipal Auditorium. Stick around.
Hey, let's go Stros.
People are amazed at the variety and quality of guests we bring into Main Street Sports today. But when you've been in this business for nearly 40 years and you never throw away a phone number, it's pretty easy. Right, Wade?
Absolutely. And Wynn agrees with me. Check out some of our guests featured on Main Street Sports today.
Step back and catch my breath. But I expect nothing less from you, big boy. Let's get going.
We make it work pretty good. So
the fans are tremendous. It's fantastic.
It was really amazing.
They call it performance. Yeah.
From preps to pros, you never know who's going to stop by, so be sure to listen to and watch Main Street Sports today from 2 to 4 p.m. daily on the MSM TV app. Hey, we're here for the final segment of the Monday Mirror edition of Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Want to thank Scott Miranda and the folks here with Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball for accommodating us today during their media day as they get ready to get their season started on Wednesday night. Again, Team Bell and Team Westbrook will play in the Wednesday opener at 5 o'clock. It'll be Team Colson and Team Harrison in the nightcap at 7:30. You can see it on ESPN Plus, or as Director of AU Basketball Megan Perry said, you can get your butts in the seats right here. They're still working out down on the floor. I hear them. I can't see them, obviously, but folks are still around. It's going to be a fun month here. I got to get down here and check this out.
Yeah, the excitement, we had speculated that it was going to be fun when this endeavor or this partnership kind of got announced, and just being here today has been a blast. And I feel pretty confident about what's going to go down over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. What went down Saturday at TBA was mind-boggling because Tennessee took on a Florida team that had beaten them by 30 in Gainesville about a month ago. Without their point guards, Akai Ziegler, without Igor Milicic, and all they did was win 64-44. I don't know if that is about the topsy-turvy of the SEC. I don't know really what that's about, but we're still on the air for another 15 minutes. So, okay, cool. I don't know how you explain that.
It seems like, man, Bill Simmons coined it years and years ago. The Ewing theory was on full display, and that is when Ewing is out, the team rallies somehow against the odds, and we saw it play out yet again. Tennessee in a rock fight in the first half.
24-21 at the half.
Another ugly game, not for the faint of heart. If you weren't a fan of either one of those teams, don't tune in. Yeah, it's almost.
If you were a fan, you probably weren't watching.
Yeah, it was an indictment of offensive basketball. But if you had the heart to stick through it, and especially if you're a Tennessee fan,
it paid off.
You were certainly rewarded because, yeah, they started dominating, turning the defense into offense, seemingly getting a layup line going. And, Ewing theory on full display. That was a must-win game. Felt like, on the other hand, Florida, they're going to be okay. You're not expected to necessarily. Obviously, the injuries made you feel a little more confident about that. But Tennessee, that felt like a must-win game as far as your confidence for the rest of the season. Now it feels like you've suddenly steered the truck back on the road a little bit.
Well, especially when you take into consideration the Tuesday loss to visiting Kentucky.
Right.
It really felt like a game that you had to have, but it also felt like a game that you weren't going to get with two starters out.
Yeah, and by the time they tipped off, Tennessee was they were about a 4 to 5 point favorite earlier in the week, and by the time tip-off got a little closer, that had dwindled down to about 1.5 points. So that was a massive win for Tennessee, who on bracketmatrix.com, they had slid just a little bit. They're still comfortably in the 2-seed realm. If they had lost that game, now all of a sudden you're starting to wonder, when do they turn it around? And we mentioned it last week. You just cannot let multiple losses start stacking. So that was a big dub for Coach Barnes and the Vols up there.
So get your bracket matrix back up. Where does it have them now?
So bracketmatrix.com is one of the best websites in the history of the internet. It takes as many as 25 to 40 different polls, and all it does is just aggregate them. So you have ESPN, CBS, et cetera, all aggregated, and then it gives you the composite. And Tennessee is currently the third 2 seed. They're ranked as high as 2 in several people. ESPN has them as a 2 seed. Several sites have them as a 2 seed. But, yeah, they're comfortably at a 2 seed, just ahead of Marquette, but just behind Houston.
Friend of the show, Jerry Palm, has them as the 4th number 1. So just for what that's worth, if you're a UT fan.
So if you're a UT fan, go to jerrypalm.com.
Yeah,
and,
don't worry about
Don't worry about
else.
the
Go
math
CBS,
everywhere else.
Yeah, go to cbssports.com and get everything there. Yeah. From a number 3 in his bracket to the top line, along with I guess Auburn, Alabama, and Duke.
And the thing,
how many heads would explode if the SEC had 3 number 1 seeds?
It'd be wild. I mean, if you're not an SEC fan, yeah, you'd be pretty upset. The one thing that's also helping Tennessee right now is number 1, Florida was the team that was kind of potentially ahead of them in that pecking order. But also Iowa State has kind of fallen off a cliff, back-to-back losses recently, and they were a team that's right in that 1 seed discussion. So if you're Tennessee, you just kind of keep holding serve. And again, if you end up as a 2 seed, it's not the end of the world.
No.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what seed you got. You just got to start winning games and make your first ever Final Four, right? I mean, you don't care how you get there if you're a Tennessee fan. You just got to try and get there by hook or by crook.
For what it's worth, again, Palm has Auburn, Duke, Tennessee, and Alabama, or Auburn, Duke, Alabama, and Tennessee as his number 1s. He's got Marquette, Florida, Purdue, and A&M as his number 2s. So 5 SEC teams either as a 1 or a 2 right now. That's crazy.
I mean, we've talked about it all year. I mean, I don't know who else you're going to put up there, especially, like I said, Iowa State's losing. Houston is kind of holding serve as best they can in the Big 12, but after that, nobody is real. Michigan State just lost the other night. So, I mean, no team is really jumping up and grabbing these other spots other than the teams we're seeing out of the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah. You know, we talked about Michaela Blake's and her 53 points down at Gainesville on Thursday night as Vanderbilt went down and throttled Florida. Well, they came home to face an Ole Miss team that had beaten them 87-59 in Oxford about 3 weeks ago. And it wasn't that bad, but they did lose 76-61. Star Jacobs, 24 points, 10 boards for Ole Miss. And what was most disappointing to me on this yesterday was Chantel Anderson bobblehead day at Memorial Gym. Vanderbilt's all-time leading scorer, men's or women's. She was in the house. You know, you can't lose on Chantel Anderson bobblehead day.
No, you're just barely above disbanding the program if you're going to present that kind of effort on that night for that occasion.
You got to show some respect for the greats. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know that Vanderbilt ever led this game. From the time that I was watching it, I mean, they trailed pretty much the whole time. I turned it off at halftime, and I don't think they went up. But Vanderbilt had won its last 4 games coming into that. Shot a little under 50% from the floor, out-rebounded by 9. Camille Pierre finished with 24 points. Blake's at 16. Ayanna Moore from Blackman finished with 10 in the loss. Vanderbilt drops to 18-5 overall, 5-4 with the loss. But I'm sure it's got to be a little disappointing just for the fact that, again, they had just lost by nearly 30 the last time these two teams played. And, you know, it happens sometimes. Maybe it's just matchups, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
tough
Ole
break.
Miss seems to have their number.
Yeah, Ole Miss has got the ladies' number, and if you're Vanderbilt, you're thinking, man, this is why we can't have nice things, right? Just when we thought we could trust you guys, the men and women's programs, and you come out and you have a disappointing weekend. But you kind of got to keep things in check. These are programs that are still on the ascension, and yeah, you maybe kind of retool or recalculate your expectations for the year a little bit with what you've seen thus far, but you can't go overboard. And they're still on the way up, and as a result, every now and again, anybody can get got, especially in SEC play, as we've talked about. So you got to be on your P's and Q's, and you can't get too low. That will be the key, just like we said with Tennessee. Can't let multiple losses kind of turn into something that maybe derails your season for all that momentum you had early.
Absolutely. For what it's worth, apparently the AP voters still believe in the Commodores despite that loss. They only dropped a spot to number 24 in this week's poll that came out earlier this morning. I think the Vanderbilt men are still in the poll. No, they're not. I'm sorry. They fell out after their 30-point loss at Oklahoma on Saturday. So they still got a team ranked on West End.
Yep, still in there. And, like I said, throw the rankings out the window. You're just worried about or just concerned with just keeping the momentum rolling. And still young teams, still some teams relying on some new players in new roles, and there will be bumps in the road. We mentioned it several times with the Tennessee Lady Vols.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to kind of keep things in check as you move about this season. Enjoy the good moments. Don't get too worked up about the bad, because we know how bad it has been and is not too far removed from, right?
Not at all. Not at all. The chase at Bowman Gray went off last night. I'm sorry, the clash at Bowman Gray. Chase Elliott won it. And oftentimes that's been a precursor to a solid performance or even a winner's circle visit at the Daytona 500. And Elliott is hoping that'll be the case because he's 0 for 9 at Daytona. So I don't know what carries over, though, from this race at Winston-Salem to Daytona here next. Well, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, the 16th. So, but NASCAR is underway.
Underway, and yeah, if you're Chase, you're thinking, man, it'd be nice just. I don't know how much. I'd love to ask Heather this next time. How much kind of momentum, if there is such a thing, in NASCAR? Because in theory, you get off to a fast start. Hopefully, you're going to continue, but that obviously is not always the case.
Yeah, well, you'll get to ask Heather Wednesday. She's supposed to be with us as we get started with Cup Series activity. Again, Chase Elliott is 0 for 9 in the Daytona 500, despite a pair of pole starts. Finished runner-up in 21 behind Michael McDowell. But past that, he's really kind of struggled there. So not taking too much out of the exhibition race from last night, but I'm sure it was exciting, and look forward to getting with Heather on Wednesday to get her thoughts on it. So,
yeah, we talk about a long season. Yeah, you cannot afford to get too high or certainly too low about just getting into it. But everybody's going to put forth their best effort in 2 weeks, and that's when everybody will be gunning to kind of kickstart things in a good way.
Yeah. We are wrapping up the Monday Mirror here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Again, want to thank all the folks with Athletes Unlimited for helping us through as we're here for their Pro Basketball Media Day. They get started on Wednesday night with a couple of ball games, 2 more games on Friday night, and 2 on Saturday. And I imagine that will be the schedule throughout the season that wraps up in the first week of March. So make your plans to get down here and see some great women's professional basketball. Some WNBA players will be on hand. And, as Dory Harrison was telling us, a great fan experience. They will be available for post-game autographs and that kind of thing. It feels like it's going to be a great atmosphere down here. I'm looking forward to getting down here.
They took good care of us. Tickets are reasonably priced, which is always good to see. And the first 250 fans will get Thunder Sticks. And to celebrate National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, anybody under 12, any females under 12 will get in free as long as you have a parent or guardian accompanying. So, cool way to get everybody out. Should be fun to kick things started on Wednesday.
Without question. Hey, that's going to do it here for Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Join us tomorrow. We will have Chip Walters, the Blue Raider voice. We'll see y'all at 2.